Good evening. My name is Don Shomette, and I'm delighted that everybody turned out here to listen to me babble on here about one of my favorite subjects, which is about Mallows Bay here in Charles County. First, I'd like to start off by thanking the Conservancy for supporting our nomination of Mallows Bay to become a National Marine Sanctuary. The nomination has gone in, and I'll tell you about it in a little bit. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Mallows Bay. In 1986, I came down to take pictures, and I ended up doing about a 10-year archaeological survey of Mallows Bay with a handful of money that I think I could have probably bought 2 meals at McDonald's with, which was grant money from the Maryland Historical Trust. And we surveyed with a basically volunteer group the entirety of Mallows Bay to an inventory of what was there. Mallows Bay starts to assert, because of the presence of so many boats, they literally cut off the Potomac River. You could, at one time when I first went there, you could walk from one end of the bay to the other without getting wet. That's it today. And there are other vessels that have joined there, such as the one at the bottom, which is called the Accomack, the last Kip-to-Peak ferry, built in 1918, by the way. But what has happened is that they are asserting a presence on the environment. Erosion has completely stopped on the shoreline because tidal action doesn't get in there. The ships themselves have become flower pots. They have their own mini environments on them, mini ecosystems, which have attracted an awful lot of wildlife that had been eviscerated from this area by pollution, by the ships being there in the first place, and now Mother Nature is taking this back. These islands, even the ones that are going underwater, some of them are underwater, fully underwater now. This is the North Bend, the first one that came off of to be certified. It's a unique place, and there is a lot of history here that is still walking around. We were just talking about oral history of people who've seen it in later years. But this gentleman here, I interviewed him. He was from St. Mary's County. Well, he was living in St. Mary's. He was one of the foremen building these 2 ships, which were built at Quantico, Virginia, which are part of the wooden fleet. But we have people who have seen these ships or helped strip them at various times, or been part of the people making their livelihoods down there, living off it during the Depression. A lot of this is just below the water, but it is absolutely stunning. If you go there when the tide is low, particularly in the spring and in the fall, these ships with trees 20, 30, 40 feet tall grown at them, whole islands, you don't know from the Potomac River what you're looking at. You don't know these are ships. There's 3 ships lined up. So this is what we have there just in Mallows Bay, just in the whole area, and across the river. And we've got a couple of them downriver like that, and you can see their outlines. Mallows Bay is a unique place, which is why I pushed for a nomination of Mallows Bay to the Marine Sanctuary Program, which just opened up this year. But we are nominating 17 square miles of the Potomac River, in which these ships and others, a total of 185 ships that we have identified archaeologically or historically, from the American Revolution all the way through the 1960s. This area is one of the most unique. It's the nation's river, as President Johnson called it. And here we have a chance to do something nobody else has done, and we have connected with groups like yours, the Charles County, Prince George's County, all the counties. We have got our federal and state legislators behind it. We have institutions behind it, and this is the area that we are looking at. One of the most environmentally diverse river systems on the eastern seaboard. This is unique. This will be the most unique sanctuary of its kind in the world. And one day I predict it will be a world-class site. So it's got everything, and it doesn't stop anybody from doing anything, from fishing, from hunting. The only thing you can't do is to carry a piece of these ships away with you. We want to have a program where you can visit, you can participate. It's an ongoing laboratory of science, of archaeology, and in environmental engineering. All of these things we want to engage the public in. This is a bottom-up operation, wasn't a top-down. I suggested it to NOAA. They already kind of had it in their craw that they were going to look at it anyway. But it kind of got the ball rolling. And last week, we submitted the nomination for this district, this 17 square mile area, to become a National Marine Sanctuary. And it has also been nominated to the National Register of Historic Places, both on the same day. And we have been told by everybody involved, every agency, every institution, and the federal government, it's been green lighted. It's going to have to go through a public review process. And it's got a few other hurdles to go, but it doesn't have to go before Congress, thank God. Mallows Bay has got the most diverse of everything you can imagine on the eastern seaboard of the United States, historically, environmentally, you name it, in the country actually. And we're joining 14 other national marine sanctuaries, one of which has just been expanded up in Lake Huron called Thunder Bay. It is quadrupled in size with the approval of everybody in the state of Michigan and the federal government, which is wonderful. This is going to be a cooperative management program with a citizens committee being part of the management. So this is a good thing. Mallows Bay is happening. It's happening in Charles County. It's going to assist the tourist industry. It's going to help revitalize, I hope, as it did up on Thunder Bay National Preserve. It's going to help restore some economic viability for the Nanjemoy Peninsula, and for Charles County give some bonuses too. We're only 30 miles from the nation's capital, where they get 17 million visitors a year. If we can peel off from some of that, we can do a lot of good down here. Our schools are involved, our colleges are involved, and hopefully you will be involved too. So I thank you very much. I know I talked too long, but it's my favorite subject.